Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gen Z Cafe. Today, we have a very, very, very special guest. I'm very excited for you guys to listen to this episode because this is our first international guest. All of our guests in the past have been from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but today, joining us all the way from Athens, Greece, is the incredible, talented filmmaker. She is an amazing artist. She is the director of several short films, including The Place Machine, Everyone Should Run Away, and soon, coming up, is a beautiful short film that will hopefully do its run, called The Face of Many. Very excited to see it. Everybody, please welcome the talented Eliana.
Hey. The introductions on this show are mad. That's what I
Yeah. It's our thing. Our
introductions are really cool.
No, but seriously, like, all of that was true. I mean, you're one of the most professional people I've ever worked with. I've had the pleasure of working with you on multiple film sets.
That is true. Whereas I've literally never had a project with Adnan in it.
I'm
apart from
the
Face of Many.
No,
but prior to The Face of Many.
Can we talk about that?
Actually, never been.
That's what we should start with, is how Adnan got promoted.
Multiple times.
He stole my spotlight.
So funny.
It's amazing. How did you do it, Adnan?
I just stayed on set.
That's
literally all I
So you started off as an extra.
Yeah.
And then you got lines.
And then I got
more lines.
And then I got more lines.
And then you were like in almost every scene of the film.
I don't know that he's in every scene.
Yeah,
but
well, we'll see in the post.
Hassan at some point is like, bro, you might pop up more than everybody other than me.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
It is actually true because there was one scene where we weren't meant to have an extra, doing the torturing, the electrocution, and then suddenly Adnan is in the scene. He has patents. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, your film definitely. I mean, it was so much fun.
I got to play the electricity. It was so fun.
Dude, there was like we did all the torturing, which is amazing. Like,
I mean, you did one part. I did all the torturing.
No, but can we talk about the part that Hussain did?
Oh
yeah,
come on.
Come on. I got to practice jiu-jitsu by putting my knee on Hassan's
You also got to drown him.
Legit, though.
Legit did.
Literally drown him.
Like, quite literally drown him.
Hassan, if you're watching this, we're sorry.
We are. I actually apologized to Hassan already for that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to add that every time we bring on a guest, we add a very at the beginning.
Do we?
So for the first couple of guests, it was very special guest, and then for Tala, it was very special guest.
And now we're at like four varies.
Three varies.
I mean, Eliana is a very, 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 very special guest.
There you go.
We talked about this. Apart from being the first international on this podcast, I'm also the reason your program is considered an international.
Oh, that's true. Well, also told you.
He wasn't there on week one.
And that just disqualifies him from the program.
No, but week one, when you got here, it would not have been an international program without me there.
Eliana was there day one.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man.
I was friends with Eliana before I was friends with you, which I find really funny.
Wait, no, but we met in the airport.
Oh,
no, but I was like
we
full on friends, exactly. Like full on like the first week I was just talking to Eliana every day, you know?
Every day?
Yeah.
Like, did you
he was
exchange
one of the
contact?
few people I knew.
When we were at uni,
yeah.
I see.
That first week was
so
insane.
How was your reaction? You sign up for this program, and then you come to the first day, and it's like 28 Saudis.
Okay, but wait,
Saudis.
do you actually know the story of how I signed up for this program? Because that sounds very...
Yeah, no, please.
I signed up for a program that's in Paris.
Oh.
Okay.
Which they then went, actually, it's in Nice.
Okay.
And then 3 days before the first day of the program, they went, actually, it's in Cannes.
Oh, wow.
3 days before. Oh, yeah, that's why you used to live in Nice.
Yeah.
And you used to commute. You had like a bus pass.
Oh my god, I do remember this. You take the train every day.
Yeah, it was insane.
Oh my god.
It was an hour and a half.
3 days.
It was an hour and a half to get from my flat in Nice, and I lived next to the train station to campus and then back another hour and a half.
And when you signed up, it specifically said Paris.
Yeah, I contacted them and I was like, hey, I've seen this 1 year vocational training you guys do in Paris. Can I join? Blah, blah, blah. And they were like, yeah, actually this year we're running it in Nice.
Oh,
and I was like, okay,
Nice is
do I
right.
want to go to Nice?
But to be fair, could you imagine this program in Paris?
Yes,
Ew.
I wish. Because I wasn't interviewed. I know all of you guys got interviews with Justin.
We did.
Okay.
I was interviewed by the people in Paris. And it's so cool. They have like professional photographers who take you around to museums and like you explore art on a whole different level.
Yeah,
but Paris is so crowded.
Sure, the bed bugs this year would have driven me off.
Have you been to Paris?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't.
And you could see yourself when you went there living there for an entire year?
I couldn't see myself living in Cannes for a year either. At least Paris would have had the things I like to do.
Yeah, there's
there.
nothing in Cannes.
Nothing.
Like, we need to talk about. We've talked about it before.
It's a ghost city. It's a ghost city.
But it's a ghost city, man.
It actually is.
But I do like. It reminds me of because we come from Shargiya, so beach vibes.
No, Shargiya is more lit, bro.
Oh yeah,
Shargiya doesn't sleep at 8 p.m.
I'm talking environment.
Oh
we're kind of similar. Like I like having the beach next to my house.
Yeah.
I in Saudi Arabia, I literally have a 5-minute beach. You know.
I miss Khobar so much. I'm actually really glad that when I go back to Saudi for the first few months.
Yeah.
We talked about this, but we live next to each other, but
we live literally next to each other. We didn't even know before this program, you know that? Which is really funny.
Yeah, I think you told me this on the bus when you guys were going to that festival in Nice. You were like, there's this one person who I live really close by and we go to the same
gym.
That's what she asked me. Is that you? Like, is that saying that you live next to Adnan?
Yeah.
No.
So then I get to Cannes eventually and I join and I see 30 Saudis.
Yeah, so walk me through, like, what's going through your head?
Did you know there were going to be 30 Saudis before you came?
I mean, okay, I'll tell you what I did know. They had sent us some Gmail emails and stuff, and they hadn't BCC'd people. They had CC'd, and I remember talking with, like, people and going, that's a lot of Arabic names.
Yeah. No, that's funny. Yeah. Because when I got my contract sent to me, I, like, went through all of the names and just, like, was thinking, like, what does that person look like? Like, what? Like, you try to guess their personality.
Yeah,
it was a lot of Arab names.
It was a lot of Arabic names, but there were names that weren't Arabic. So I was like, okay, for some reason, a lot of Arabs. Not just Tolu, there were like 6-7 people.
Really?
Yeah, there were a lot more people. And even like after first week, I was talking with Justin and he was like, yeah, we have like 2-3 people who are supposed to join next week. And out of all of them, only Tolu did.
Only Tolu? He was telling me there's a girl that was supposed to come that's Lithuanian.
Yeah, there were supposed to be other people. So I held on to hope for that first week.
Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, internationally, like, aside from the Cannes Film Festival, we might be the only, like, non-French people in this city. Like, in Mondelu, I don't think that's a stretch. Like, literally, I don't think that's a stretch.
Right. Everywhere I go,
like, in December,
there's a lot of people who are foreigners, but they're maybe, like, first gen or second gen.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, but, like, students that are from a, like, different
there was
a few.
There was the draft of the Chinese students that came to our university.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like
but
a good, like, 30
that.
chunk of 30 students that came. But I think they're gone now, so we still might be the only
Lucky
them.
them.
So I know that you also studied in the UK.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you did. And I remember that.
And so how has that kind of shift has been, in the sense that, like, I don't know, you know, was it more of a shock coming to France, or was it more of a shock when you came to the UK?
I wouldn't say either of them were a shock. Like, my educational experiences have always been messy. Like, it's insane to say, but so in the UK you have this program called UCAS, which is how you do your applications through, and it's like
my brother had to go through that when he was
They lost my UCAS application, which is impossible to do. I don't understand, because it's one application, you send it out and it goes to the 5 universities you've chosen, and my university, because I applied to 2 different programs there, lost one of the 2 applications. I don't even know how that is possible.
Yeah.
And then they accepted me to one, and I was like, okay, but what about the other one? Because the other one is the one I really want.
Wanted, yeah.
And they were like, oh, we kind of lost that, so we can take off your offer, like no longer have your offer, and you can apply to that one. But if you get rejected from that one, that's done. It.
Yeah. How is that your fault?
Exactly.
I have no clue.
So stupid.
And then because of all of that, I never received any of the welcome emails, I literally showed up to London and I was like, maybe I have a spot, maybe I don't. Who knows?
So that's Eliana's thing. It's just showing up to different countries and not knowing anything.
It's then I went to Rome for a master's, which I dropped out of. And I showed up in Rome, and it was 2021, right after COVID. It was all so disorganized. And so I showed up, and I was the only student in my course. And they were like, no, there were supposed to be other people. And I was like...
That's just a
Rihanna thing.
So it was literally just you?
It was literally just me.
So it's you and a professor.
Yes.
And how long was the program supposed to be?
It was supposed to be 2 years.
It was supposed to be. Why did you say
I
supposed
dropped
to be?
out
like having
within a month
private
and a half.
tutor.
That makes sense.
Oh, that's Like if I wanted that, I could just do YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, yeah.
So yeah,
Oh
I
my
think
God.
it was.
Private tutor that gives you a degree.
So that was my first
wild.
reaction, like coming here and seeing 30 Saudis. I was like, what the? Why is this
Yeah, yeah,
always
yeah, yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Okay, but all right. I know 30 Saudis. But so walk me through precisely the emotions. Like, were you intimidated? Were you scared? Were you excited?
Well, no, I was excited not to be the only student there. It's
Okay,
my
so you're
previous
like,
experience.
okay, human beings. They might be not like me, but human beings, you know?
Nonetheless.
Genuinely.
Nonetheless.
And at first I was like, okay, a lot of Arabs, but I didn't realize you guys were all here together, if that makes sense. Like under the same program.
Like we might have all.
So in the start, you were like, oh,
Yeah,
but
maybe
so
it's
it almost
just
made it.
popular in Saudi. You know, like my old university is really popular in Korea. So I
Yeah.
was like, maybe it's just something
she's
like
what are the
that.
So maybe
odds?
that made it less intimidating because it's like, okay, if I can befriend one of them, I kind of befriend all of them.
Well, I wasn't really intimidated by you guys.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm just
didn't-
trying to think because I'm like, I don't know, I just show up to a room and
The
it's,
insane part started to happen after I realized it was an organization and like that organization had
see.
control over a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's when I just started going,
I
oh
see.
God, this situation, you know?
Yeah.
I
But the
see.
people themselves.
Yeah.
Or
like,
I.
yeah.
None of us are.
Okay, and
intimidating,
you
I
know,
would say.
I've so I always like to geek out on films on this podcast. So
Yes, you do.
I think we have to give our fair share to Eliana. But so walk me through as an artist, right? We all start with inspiration. We all draw inspiration from other people. You've written multiple short films, the latest being The Face of Many. Walk me through the inspiration of how you got there and what are the works that kind of inspired you to make that film?
The Face of Many has like the funniest kind of story to me in terms of how it came to be because it started as a rom-com.
Question mark?
Oh,
How?
So many
Oh.
question marks.
Oh, okay.
So for the viewers and
Yeah,
listeners
for
who
context.
Yeah.
don't know, The Face of Many in its current form is about a dictatorship where they replace the leader, let's say the Putin of the nation, with someone else. So it's very psychological torture.
It's literally, like there's no hint
It's
of
very
rom-com in there.
But the way it started was from the idea of actually having a family and having a little girl who is like a singer and becomes sort of the idol of that kind of society. And her parents take her away and like they move to America.
Okay.
And then the stories of her like having grown up, being in her 20s and meeting a guy and then like trying to hide that part of her life.
Yeah.
And it started from there.
Okay, so kind of like an I, Tanya type story.
Yeah, nothing like what it is now.
Okay.
And then I did a Coursera course about screenwriting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to like think of something to do. And I was like, well, I don't have anything I want to share online that I would do. So I was like, how about that story, but from the side of the people who were chosen to be the replacements?
Yeah.
And so it was meant to be a family thing.
Okay.
And then we had to write this 15-minute film, and I think a family is too much for a
Yeah.
15-minute film. So I was like, I'll cut it to one person and make him the actual leader of the nation.
Okay.
Make him get tortured.
But it's still very family themed. Like I remember reading
Yeah.
it and being really excited because like it is very family oriented. Like the main character, I mean,
It
the
ups
whole-
the stakes when
Yeah,
you
it
have a
definitely
family.
ups the
Yeah,
stakes.
exactly.
Like, I mean, in the story.
Yeah,
without
like if he was a
spoiling it
single
too
loser,
much.
he wouldn't really care. He'd be like, okay, make me the general.
That's
you
like
know?
pretty much his one motivation. Like when I was preparing for the character auditioning, it's like I was thinking, oh my god, my as if is like as if I lost something really valuable to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
That is
he
the idea.
keeps losing over and over and over again
yeah.
until he, not to spoil the film, but yeah.
I'll spoil away. I don't mind.
Oh yeah, well yeah, until he gets pretty much brainwashed. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
literally.
It's a very Pavlov's dog reaction kind of situation.
yeah, no, that's honestly a really cool. Origin.
don't even
I was
know.
more expecting like, oh, you watch Citizen Kane or you watch some like political
Yeah.
film, and you were like, I want to do that.
You watched an interview of Kim Jong Un for
Yeah.
3 hours.
like the interview. The film,
No.
The
I
Interview.
would say though I do draw a lot of inspiration from history usually because it's my field. It's what I've studied. It's what I want to
Yeah.
go back to
Nerd.
studying.
No, okay.
Oh, go back to study.
Truly nerd.
Really?
Yeah. I'm thinking of doing my master's next year.
Oh,
We'll see.
really? Like
Yeah.
a history
Wow.
masters.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
What if you combined history and filmmaking?
A lot of okay, so I predominantly write books rather
Autobiographies.
than movies and stuff. So a lot of the things, I have a full document that's called Ideas to Use. And like a lot of the stories I have come from these ideas, which are entirely based on things my professors would say during like my history lessons. So to me, it's the best place, like the best inspiration source, because there are so many weird things that have happened and people have believed throughout the years. Like I remember in year one, we had this text we had to read, which was about how there are specific items in like Buddhism that are considered like if you gain all 5 or I think it's 5 items.
Are they
No,
not?
it's not chakras. It's specific items. Like,
literally items.
Like
okay.
literally items. And they're like, if you gain all of them, you can achieve nirvana and stuff. And I was like, this is so cool. How about if that's an actual thing? So there's a genuine book I'm writing where it's like a guy who's trying to collect
The 5
in that
things.
word,
Kinda sounds like
and he
the
becomes
plot
like
for
a god.
Avengers Endgame, but
The 5.
And it's like
Well, there's
you
6
actually
Infinity
become a
Stones.
god when you
Oh my
obtain these items, but no one believes it's actually true.
Yeah.
So like that's an actual plot now.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are the
in a
items
book.
in the traditional Buddhist
I
stories?
don't remember. This was you have to
Are there
remember.
specific
Like,
items?
Do you
Like,
remember
does it
how to-
does the text
yeah.
mention
It's
them?
a specific items.
my
That's
God.
like it was. The text was dealing with how like the development of the Silk Road and a lot of the paths that were developed were connected to acquiring these specific items.
Yeah.
In Buddhist tradition.
History is so interesting, and aside from history as well, like, what are your guys' thoughts? I'm curious on like paranormal activity.
I don't believe in it.
Do you not at all?
That's simple, yeah.
I thought I didn't either, but now we also have a friend who's a filmmaker, and he was telling me that for his Azure project, he's a French guy. His name's Fabrice. Shout out to Fabrice.
Oh, I was like, who are we talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. But essentially, so his like final senior project or whatever is creating a documentary about these people who apparently live in like a paranormal active like house or mansion.
Yeah.
And so he basically interviews them about stories since their childhood.
Yeah.
Things they experience. They actually go out into the field with like night vision cameras and try to.
That's
like,
actually really
capture-
cool.
So it is pretty cool, but I was just wondering, like,
That
history-wise.
reminds, I can't remember what the movie's called, and it was all the rage when it came out. Oh, I feel so.
Blair Witch
Ghostbusters?
Project.
Yeah, that's what
Ghostbusters?
that Blair Witch
Yeah,
Project.
yeah.
Like completely.
So, like, is that something that you want to like incorporate also into your stories?
Paranormal activity.
I mean,
I don't
Have a
write
dude that
much
turns into a
sci-fi.
god, so
okay.
I write fantasy. That's why
Yeah.
I don't
I
write
see,
much
I see.
sci-fi.
fair
I
enough.
see. So, to you, fiction or like these, let's say these stones, it's more fantastical than it is like.
Yeah,
scary.
it's
Yeah.
that entire world is fantasy based. There is a magic system within it. There's actually like multiple stories that take place in that universe, and that's just one of them.
I see.
So-
But you're not attempting to explain reality.
No,
it's
no,
more like
it's-
it's just pure fun.
It's
Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
absolutely high fantasy,
it's
not
a
set
dragon,
in our
yeah.
own
Cool
world.
stuff.
It's like he collects them and he becomes God. No,
Yeah.
no explanation.
No, okay.
Absolutely. That's
No relation to reality.
yes.
Exactly. I also wanted to ask, you're a writer, you said,
Yeah.
and you've written books before. What's your most like popular book? Because I assume you publish them.
I have not published them.
At all?
But I can tell you which one is most popular with my friends
Okay,
in
that's
terms
fine.
of
Have
the
you
one that
finished
they.
any,
Yeah,
like,
because I
full
wanted to hear the plot
manuscripts?
about
Yeah,
it and stuff.
yeah.
Like, I want to hear what like your books
So
are
the
about.
one that is the most popular with friends and stuff, I wrote it in England, is about an artist, and it works with a parallel world. Okay, so we have our world, and there's a parallel world where all the art we have created in our world appears in that one and generates magic. And so that book is
that's so
about
cool.
Wow.
a guy who is an artist in our world and somehow gets transported to that world. And so he's the only person there who can actively generate magic because he can actually create
art,
art.
yeah.
Oh my god. Wow. Wait. So when you write these like stories, these
Yeah.
manuscripts, how many words or like how long are they?
Yeah, how many
usually?
pages would you say this book
So
is?
that one, I actually intended originally for it to be a one novel, but it's turning out to be two. I want to
Okay.
go back and turn it back into one. It's currently at around 85 to 100K in the
Words.
one novel form.
So that's like
I was gonna say
in
it's a lot of pages.
In book form, that's like almost like it's a proper like.
It's a proper novel,
Okay,
fantasy
okay.
novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the goal with these? Like,
The goal is to actually sit and edit Hussain and actually do publish them
hey,
eventually.
well, look, we
Yeah.
we very much believe in the law of attraction on the podcast.
Yeah.
At least I do. I don't
Yeah.
know if you believe
It's
in
there.
that. It's there.
It's there somewhere.
But I truly
Paranormal.
believe. I truly believe when you like say you're going to do something or that you want something.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll get there.
For sure. I think
Yeah.
for me, the writing is the easy part and the editing is the boring part.
You can
So
always
it's
hire
the-
an editor. Yeah,
She doesn't
it's
trust anyone.
No, she does not. No, but it's also like when it's not copywriting, which is like editing grammar. Like I have to, because I was writing that one for NaNoWriMo and I went into it just having the concept in my head.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like
It's a
me
cool
having
concept.
to actually.
It takes time to refine as well.
You know, actually, it will make an awesome limited series because one of the main ideas of that world is that they don't have any originality. So everything they say has occurred, it's actual reality. And then because they only draw inspiration, like you can see that in their clothing, it's very Hunger Games capital, like mixing different
Yeah.
eras and different
Wow.
things. But it also has like a lot of humor because it's like there's a solid scene in there where they're seeing like a painting of Jesus Christ, and there's a lot of paintings of Jesus Christ, you know? So there's like people who are legit making up stories about who this guy is, and they're like, yeah, it's my cousin Bob, and he's like,
that's
it
so
becomes
funny.
cultish, and it's,
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And when you're writing this, so when I'm reading it, like, is it through a first person point of view, second person, or
that
third?
one has a narrator, but she might get killed off in the edit. Who knows?
Okay, so like the narrator is telling the story.
Yes. Oh, no,
In third
I
person
will
point
not
of view.
spoil who the narrator is.
Okay.
The
It's
narrator.
Eliana.
It is not Eliana. It's a basic character in the book, but yeah, she's narrating
Wow.
what happened to her, essentially her life story.
Oh, is she the one that gets transported?
No, she's not.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, stop asking
Well,
questions.
It's,
hey,
it's
hey.
a guy who gets
Yeah,
transported.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's a guy.
Well, look, I'm very excited to see this.
Yeah, if it's a
finished
limited
story.
series,
And I
one day
think you
maybe
should-
you'll audition.
Personally, I think you should just go all out with it and just
Yeah,
put it
Hassan's
out
an
into the
all-out
world.
kind of guy.
I'm an
I've
all-out
learned
kind
that
of guy.
recently.
Like my favorite quote recently. I know I'm cheesy and I'm kind of like the cheesy guy.
Sorry,
kind of
can I
thing.
just say, is Hussain quotes a normal part of
Yeah,
the
I just,
podcast
like,
every
random-
single
yeah.
time?
I just say like one of
We
my.
have like 6 quotes a podcast. Almost.
But basically, it's that success is going from failure to failure with enthusiasm. And like
Yeah.
I'm really trying to live by that recently. So yeah, like you never know. Once it's edited, and
Yeah.
hopefully in a shape that you feel comfortable sharing with the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep sharing.
One day we're gonna go to Jadir bookstore and you're gonna see Eliana's book on the
Eliana's
bookshelf
name.
and you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I know her.
Yeah, and
Well-
you'll see it from the cover. You'll be like, "Oh wait, those are the five the five thingies that he has to collect."
Oh my god, I know that.
Well, no, to be fair, that one is the one, if like I got a contract to like do show running, because
Okay.
ultimately that would probably be the goal.
Yeah, I see.
It would start with that book,
Okay.
Oh, really?
not the stone one.
And the title would be The
art
5
one.
Thingies, right?
The 5 thingies, not the 5 thingies, the
The
art
five
one.
thingies that becomes the title of the film.
No, but the first thing like I would want to do is the
artist
art one.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's
What's the title?
so
What's the title gonna
fun.
be? Do you not know one?
I can't
Untitled.
remember what it is
Untitled
right
project.
now.
Untitled Project One.
Yeah.
A lot of my projects are literally called WIP, like work in progress.
Yeah. Oh,
Number
wow,
1,
that's so
number 2,
funny.
number
Titles
5.
are hard, yo.
So
Those
hard.
Titles are hard.
There's an episode in BoJack Horseman. Spoiler alert! If you're gonna watch the show, skip like 2 minutes. But there's a character. She's like a producer manager kind of thing, and she has a child, or she adopts a child, and she can't think of a name because she's so busy. So she names it Untitled Princess Carolyn Project. And that's literally the kid's name for the rest of the show. It's
my
That is incredible.
It's
Man,
so
it's
funny.
crazy to me how in the West, like people can just name anything to their kids.
Yeah, literally anything.
Oh,
Like,
in Greece you
Elon-
can't.
Yeah, neither can
in
you
Saudi Arabia, you can't. Most
Um,
countries, I feel like the government is like, no,
We're not
like,
letting you ruin your kids.
Like in the U.S.,
They
Elon
do
Musk's
not-
kid's name
EXA.
Yeah, no, in Greece it wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
Technically, my name in Greece doesn't fly either.
Why?
Because I have a Jewish name, and Greece is not a secular
What
country.
What does your
It's
name
an Orthodox.
mean, Eliana? I think we talked about this before, but what does it mean?
So there's like a few different versions you'll find online of what it means. means most likely my God has answered.
Oh.
So
it's
like
very,
it's like
Jewish.
a God's gift kind of
see, I see, I
situation.
see.
Yeah.
Very monotheistic, you know.
Yeah.
biblical.
Every international student in this program has a God like kind of related name, which I find really funny. Because Tola's full name means like thanks be given to God or something like that.
Yeah. He has that in his
okay.
name. Yeah.
So I find that really funny. There's only 2 international students, but like both of them being related to God is really
Yeah,
funny.
no, it's refreshing, man. I love being around international kids because I went to uni in the U.S. and there were no international people, man. Like Boulder, my uni was literally 86% white.
Oh wow.
Like it was so bad. It was
My
so bad.
uni, I don't
International
actually
for
know
you,
the
technically, as a
statistics.
Saudi.
No, but it's not because they're just Americans. Like they're literally technically not international students. They're American students.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, for you as a Saudi, they're different than Saudis. So I like you're still
I
experiencing
also
They're
a
all
grew
different
up,
Americans.
but I grew up in the U.S. So like,
Fair enough.
To
So
me-
they're the same people.
Same people. Yeah.
I was more excited when there was like a random kid. But I've literally never been in a class. I was always the odd one out. I was
Yeah.
always
Oh.
the international student.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
No,
not
my
here, don't
university
worry.
was very international.
Yeah, because you went in the UK, and the UK has a
Was
lot.
it, you
of,
were
like,
in London, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was very.
They have a
but
lot
it's,
of, like,
It's not just that. It's because my school specifically does like decolonized history, decolonized subject.
Oh wow. So white
Essentially,
people aren't
F the
interested.
West.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or
no,
the
it's
West, I guess. Not white people. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's literally okay. The name is the most colonial thing that exists. It's literally called the School of Oriental and African Studies, and it was originally created. Wait, it's a mad ass story. Okay, it was originally created during the British Empire to train colonial officials
Okay.
who are going to be sent
To
in
colonize people.
Middle East and Asia and Africa, essentially.
Yeah.
So their actual motto is knowledge is power. I can't even be making these things up.
It's like something that would be on a coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's power.
Yeah, so now they try to always go by SOAS. Like I would never say, oh, I'm from the school. I would go, I'm from SOAS. But they still only focus on those regions. But now they do the exact opposite of what the school was created
Yeah.
for.
Oh my god.
So,
I feel like you would be a really cool person to go to a museum with.
yes, I love museums.
I love museums too.
You were
Even the one in
No,
Cannes
you
is
weren't.
actually not
did,
bad.
did you watch Night of the Museum as a kid? That's like one of my favorite movies.
That's the only museum I like.
I
It's
have,
that
but it's not
movie.
my
But by the way, I
It's
went
that
to the
movie.
Natural History Museum in New York. It's not as cool as
It's
the
not as cool at all.
It's like
It's not.
Have you
like-
been?
Yeah.
Like, and every kid has been like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna see the dude who goes gumbo jumbo," you know, and then
dumb eat gum.
dumb eat gum, and it's
doesn't
like,
exist, no.
You're just like, oh.
I think it might be there, but it's like it's not. As
it doesn't talk, obviously.
Well, obviously, and the
Such a
T Rex
cool
is just
movie,
like in
bro.
the front, and it's just like disappointing.
No,
And
that
you're like,
wasn't
there's no
my
tiny
movie
cowboy Owen
type.
Wilson.
Yeah, bro, Ben Stiller goes hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch Night of the Museum.
You want to rewatch it?
As you should.
I'll rewatch
Should
it
we?
with you.
We haven't watched a movie in a while, man.
And like since Shutter
I've been
Island, by the way.
like busy.
You've been so busy, bro.
I've been so busy.
Yeah, we don't talk anymore.
I wake
Sorry.
up and I
Like-
we don't talk anymore.
That was
We
what
don't
went through
talk
my head.
anymore. We don't talk anymore. Yeah.
We need copyrighted stuff.
Oh, what?
It's copyrights.
Right.
So you will have to edit this episode after.
No, we don't have sponsors.
It's not longer
so-
than 15 seconds. We're good.
This episode is not sponsored by Squarespace
Bro,
Yeah.
Squarespace, if you're watching this, please sponsor us.
or Wix.
I need a free episode, so free website. So if
Oh,
you
what
will
do you
sponsor
need a free website for?
for my acting?
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
I don't want to pay for it. So if they sponsored
Fair
us, I could just get a free website.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We'll make
One
it
day.
happen.
Why
One
not?
day.
Squarespace. We'll find you.
Squarespace. Sorry.
No, I'm excited. Yeah. So
We're
what were we
just
talking? We're
ignoring
talking
our
about Night
guests.
of the Museum.
Not my type of movie.
What?
So, but you've
what
seen
is
it?
what
Yeah.
is your
Okay,
type of
okay.
movie?
As a kid, or
In general,
now,
both.
Yeah.
As a kid.
Lord of the Rings.
Okay, makes sense.
That's
Fantasy.
No, as in like my parents literally took me to the movie theater, and I was 5 when that movie
Oh
came
my
out.
god! And you're like, oh my
Yeah,
god!
they were
Yeah.
like the people at the entrance were like, she's a bit young. And they were like, it's okay, we'll
No, we're
hide
good.
her eyes
I mean, it
in
was
the
like
like bad part.
PG-13.
Yeah. It's
PG-15.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, your parents were there, so you're fine.
Yeah, it's fine. They
Dude,
can't say no.
Now you're unlocking memories of me going to the movies as a kid, and I remember one of the first movies I ever watched was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ooh.
Return of Davy Jones, or it was like Davy Jones, and I was so freaked out. I had nightmares. I remember having Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because of his like tentacles or whatever.
It wasn't just him. The other pirates of the do you say Caribbean or Caribbean?
Caribbean.
Yeah, okay.
Pirates of the
Whatever.
Caribbean.
Anyways, it's the one with the mermaids. The ones that would sing and then they'd lure the men and then they'd eat them.
Freak you out as
That
a
was
kid?
terrifying when I was a child,
Bro. Like literally, man, I just remember it. And I remember like covering my eyes.
Yeah,
and like it's all dark, so my dad doesn't know I'm scared. And I'm just
That is good.
and he's there for a good chunk of the movie, so.
Davy Jones.
Yeah.
Dude, but the VFX, now that I think about it, that was like crazy back then.
You know why? I was reading about it.
Okay.
It's like, because back then they didn't know how to use CGI.
Okay.
So they'd go all out. Now they know how to use it. So they don't put as much money into it.
Yeah.
Meaning it looks really bad compared to old movies. And I was reading and I was like, oh my god, that makes so much more, like it makes sense.
Which brings me to this question. What are your thoughts on like physical effects or practical VFX versus CGI?
Jinx.
Well, it depends on what the movie needs. Like, there's some things you cannot practically do. Also, like, CGI is a lot more reliable. Like, try to do things on set and sometimes it doesn't work out.
I've been watching old movies like Alien, you know, and the practical effects are so cool.
But they're also, I feel like they're very like
cheesy.
Like they're exaggerating with it, you know?
They
like
are.
You were telling me you were watching
like,
an old movie where someone was shooting and like a pipe was just exploding in the background.
Pew, pew, sparks everywhere.
Like, that's not what happens when you shoot a gun.
I think there's like a good balance to be achieved. Like, I really enjoy like Andy Serkis doing actually the role and then seeing the CGI being put on that and tracking motion
really
and stuff.
Cool.
Napoleon is a good example.
The movie. God, what a horrible film.
Horrible film. Story-wise, horrible film. But CGI-wise, it was pretty cool.
What
like,
did the CGI in?
So I just remember like literally battles of invasions, just like cannons going into a castle.
Oh, that's cool. That's
people
cool.
like storming walls, arrows.
They had the CGI them. They couldn't just hire people
They couldn't
to
just
storm
bomb
walls.
things.
No, I meant the people.
They couldn't just
not the
blow
bombs.
people's
it's
legs
French,
off,
not
you know?
Americans. They don't do that.
Yeah, it's so funny to me that I watched Napoleon, which is a film obviously about a French emperor made by the most American director.
But you watched it here in France.
And I watched it here in France. Like it was weird.
Yeah.
And I watched it in IMAX.
I regret that like €18 for Cineum for Napoleon so much.
God. I should go to the theater here.
I have not
before I
seen a
go back.
single movie that I paid for here in France.
Oh.
I wanted to watch
Let's watch Free Guy.
Because
Let's
Cineum
watch,
is super
what's Free
expensive.
Guy.
Yeah, free. No, is it Free Guy or Free Man?
Is that Ryan Reynolds' movie?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds' latest
seen it.
movie. No,
Yeah.
not Ryan Reynolds. There's a new one with Ryan Gosling.
Oh,
The one that they did the
It's
premiere with the...
It's about a stunt. It's about a Hollywood stuntman.
Yeah. Did
Okay.
you see what they did? Was it at the premiere where he has his stuntman go through the poster?
Did
Have
he
you
do
seen that?
No.
That's actually brilliant promoting.
I
That
think
sounds
it's for
good.
that
If
film.
you're down to watch it, let's go watch it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because like there's an IMAX theater here, and it's like one of the best IMAX theaters.
Is it? Okay.
It's so
Why not?
comfortable.
It's so
The
comfortable.
only
and we don't
IMAX
have
I've been to was the one in SciTech.
I spent
is it
a
a real
lot of
IMAX
the
though?
last week and a half in that theater.
Oh, wow.
so
Yeah, I was
it's
about to
super
ask.
cool.
I feel like from the group, you were probably the most prolific film watcher during Cannes.
Oh, absolutely, because you guys watch no films.
I watched
one.
What movie did you watch?
I watched The Apprentice.
You
The
got to watch
Donald
The
Trump
Apprentice?
one.
So good, bro.
How was it?
So good.
Was it Donald good?
He was
Was-
perfect.
He was
He was
wonderful.
perfect.
All right.
Like
Yeah.
it's
They're gonna
scary how
sue him
good
for
of an actor they
defamation,
brought.
probably.
What?
The director, the Trump
Oh yeah,
campaign.
probably. And if all of this is true, Trump should go to jail,
Okay.
most likely. But it was a really good movie.
They can't catch me.
They can't catch, bro. He can just pay.
Oh my god! I don't want to bring politics into a podcast.
No, I didn't watch The Apprentice.
But the U.S. elections are coming up.
Oh
yeah,
When are
November.
those in November?
November.
I can vote. That's so scary.
You
have
can
that
vote
power.
in the
I have
States.
that. Yeah, I have an American passport.
Honestly, two bad choices. There's no politics in this.
Exactly.
It's two bad
Is
choices.
Kennedy like he's not available, right? They didn't
Kennedy?
even- Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
RFK.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can, you can.
I'm a big
but that's
fan, by the way.
I like him. He's cool.
Hussein. Don't say things like that. The anti-vaxxer.
He's an
Oh.
anti-vaxxer?
Oh God!
Never
we
mind,
need
I
to
take it
steer
back.
away.
I take it
All right,
back.
time to play
Let's
Spark, you
Yeah,
guys.
let's-
Actually, no.
politics.
Let us see a question. So pull a question.
So I shuffled.
Oh.
I'll pull it for
I shuffle.
Eliana.
I knew shuffle. No, she pulls it Because some of them are first person. So read the question and then answer it.
And then we'll answer the question too.
Okay.
So read the question and then answer it. Unless it's boring, then don't answer it. No, I'm kidding.
What does it say?
What's the question?
No, it's controversial. No, I'm
Oh gosh, he's like, do you like? What's your favorite?
We're trying
race?
to steer away from controversy.
No. It's what do you think is your biggest flaw?
Oh, are you comfortable sharing?
Yeah, you don't have
want
to.
a new
You don't
part?
No, I don't mind sharing.
Okay.
Lately, the thing I dislike the most about me is that I don't get emotional in the sense of sad. But like when I get really angry, I start crying and people misrepresent that.
Oh god.
And it annoys me so much.
Like, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, because
shut up, get away from
I'm
me.
genuinely like expressing criticisms and things, and I'm like, I'm not actually sad. It's a reaction I cannot help
I don't
it.
want to do.
Yeah,
So
that's my thing.
Through frustration,
She cries.
you cry, and people perceive that as sadness, and,
yeah.
and they perceive you as kind of like being weak.
Yeah, I hate it so
And you're
much.
like,
That's my thing. Yeah.
Dude,
Mine is
that sucks.
my laziness, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I hate it. I have.
But are you lazy or do you procrastinate? Because I would
It's
say
a
I
mix of
hate
both.
procrastinating as
It's
well.
a mix of both. But it's like, I feel like, I don't know how cocky this is, but I have such a bright future.
Yeah,
But I'm not
100%.
doing anything about it, you know? Like, I need to
I
work
mean,
on
could
it.
all
you're
do
here.
more,
You're doing
man.
things about
We
it.
Yeah,
could-
but I
we
mean,
could-
like, I'm not doing as much as I can, which
we
I
could
want
all
to.
we could all do more, but at the same thing, it's like that's I think my biggest flaw is I don't know how to turn my brain off. Like,
Same.
you know what I mean? Like I literally wake up, I work till the moment I go to sleep, and sometimes I wish I could just relax.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what all my friends tell me.
My brain is always off. That's a difference. We're like polar opposites.
No,
literally.
when he said like I haven't listened to your podcast, I don't listen to podcasts because to me they are uncountable. I like things I can. I've watched this many movies per year. I've seen this many series. I've read this
we have
many
episodes
books.
with numbers. They're
I
countable.
mean, you can count podcasts.
No. To me, it's not an educate. I can count audiobooks. I cannot count podcasts. It's one of the.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
It's
I see
not
what you
milk.
mean.
You can count.
Yeah, for me, podcasts. The only time I listen to a podcast is when I passively have to fill my time,
The
like cleaning.
Yeah, I'll do an audiobook.
I only have 1 month a year where I listen to podcasts, and it's Ramadan.
Oh, really?
Because I don't listen to music in Ramadan. So when I'm in a car, like I'll put on a podcast or.
And will you listen to like religious podcasts?
Just
or
normal ones? No,
any
just ones where they're
podcasts?
just talking.
That's the funniest part because I've also listened to like podcasting in Ramadan, but I'll be fasting, and then like Joe Rogan will start talking about some very non-fasting friendly things, and I'm like, should I be listening to this?
Like last Ramadan, unironically, like the one that just happened.
Yeah.
When I was in Saudi and I was driving, there was a couple of days where I listened to our episodes. Me and Hussain talking.
Oh my god!
And I was trying to see if I still thought the same things. So Hussain would say something, and then I'd have an answer in my mind, and then Adnan would say something, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, we agree still.
I
okay,
see,
good.
I see,
I haven't
okay.
changed.
So current Adnan agrees with past Adnan.
Pretty much, like the very close past
Yes,
Adnan,
yes,
like
yes,
podcast
yes.
Adnan.
I mean,
Yeah.
the only podcast I've listened to recently, and it was because we were on a drive, and my boyfriend was like, "Can you put that on?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." There's this podcast, I don't remember the name, where they are writing stories of unsolved mysteries. And it's all fictional, set in like an environment.
I
It all
swear
blends
I've heard of
together.
that.
Yeah, it's actually really
Is it
good.
like really well produced and
Very
like the
well
New York
produced.
Times and,
I don't think it's the New York Times.
But it's like one of those like big organizations.
No,
right?
I don't think so. I think it's a group of
I think
people
I've seen
who
a
are
clip
doing
of
it.
theirs on TikTok or
See,
something.
I like
Possibly.
those podcasts, but what I love more, honestly, are just casual podcasts.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people ask us, "What's your theme?" And it's like, man, we just talk.
Yeah.
We just
like-
try to be as human as possible.
Like
Yeah.
Toto was telling us the other day, he was like,
It's
he-
totally like commonly referenced in the
We've
podcast.
referenced
So
him, like, 3 times, I
everyone
think,
knows
now.
where he
Yeah,
is now.
Yeah, if you've watched the
He's
couple
our
of episodes,
friend,
yeah, he's our
yeah.
friend, and he
Yeah.
says, "Oh, I told a couple of my friends back in Nigeria to watch your podcast or to listen," and we're like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, they asked me how old they were, and he said like 20, 24, 21, and then they're like, "There's nothing a 24-year-old and a 21-year-old can teach me," and then
Yeah.
I told Toto, like, me and Hussain are saying, we're not trying to teach anybody anything.
We're not trying to teach anybody.
Like, sure, we'll
We're
give a
not
fact
trying.
or two in an episode, you know?
But also, I love again quote Hussain. It's like
But we're more entertaining, I feel.
100%. And also, assume the other person you're talking to knows something that you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I learn stuff from 10-year-olds a lot.
Oh, yeah.
know? Like, okay, Fortnite, that's how you crank. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
with my little brother, like, I played with him, and he's like, all right, listen, you got to learn how to build. I'm like, I
You're
don't know
so
how. Help
old.
me. Help me. He's like, you got. I'm like, let's just play no build. Let's just take the building out. I know how to shoot. I can't build. God, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fortnite
you
is
say
difficult.
he's so old, but yesterday when you guys canceled on me, no, I'm joking.
We did cancel on Eliana
No,
yesterday,
postpone.
unfortunately.
It's good though because I was
Yeah,
even
yeah,
sicker
yeah.
yesterday. No, but I actually like legit downloaded maybe some abandoned work of like old games I used to play, and I was
Okay.
just sitting there doing like icy tower runs while
that's
I
waiting.
didn't know Eliana's a gamer.
A
So what are
gamer?
some
Eliana
old
is not a
games you used to
gamer.
play?
Eliana is more like
The third person
she
is so funny.
does
Third
not
person.
have the ability. Well, no, I have the ability. Just don't have the willpower to learn new games. So if I'm gaming, I will only play things I absolutely know how to play.
Yeah, like
So-
Tetris.
Not Tetris. My go-to is Age of Empires 3.
Okay.
Age of Empires
Or
3.
Pokemon, but only up
You're
to
a
like the
Pokemon
fourth
player?
generation.
On what
Ah.
device are you playing Pokemon?
Her laptop, I'm assuming. Emulators.
Oh, so you're emulating?
Oh wait,
Okay.
Nintendo! Don't listen to this
No,
podcast.
no, we're not emulating.
No, we
We're not
I,
emulating.
I have a 3DS.
I have a
You got a
3DS as well.
3DS.
Also, I have a Game Boy Color. I had the original Game Boy as well.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
had
are.
a
I
proper
never
DS.
owned the DS. I was always a PSP kid.
No
I
had both.
PSPs for
I
me.
see. I had a Game Boy, but like I don't know. I was just never drawn to the DS world. You know?
Bro, so you didn't play Super Mario like 64 on the DS?
No, but I had a GameCube.
Bomberman.
Played, well, I didn't have a GameCube. But
Dig
my cousins
Dog.
had a GameCube.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Dig Dug? You've never played Dig Dug?
I think the
No.
console.
Do you not know what
okay,
Dig
this is
Dug is?
actually an interesting question. What
Dig Dug?
console do you think you spent the most time with in your childhood?
Well, I
Oh, I
wasn't
think it's
allowed
in
to
your
have
life. I was
any,
gonna say Nintendo Switch. I have like 4,000 hours.
As an
Ooh.
adult,
Smash
obviously,
Brothers.
no, but as a kid, like for me,
but we
the
weren't
Wii.
allowed
The
to
Wii,
have
the
consoles.
Wii, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
It has to be the
Wii,
Wii, right? You've had a Wii, right?
I do have one now, but
still
I
have
wasn't allowed to have one as a
why?
child.
That kinda
Because my
sucks.
mother didn't want. We had a PC and we had like a Game Boy Color and these
Okay,
kind of
okay.
devices, but not a gaming console that connects to like the TV, or
TV.
something. Because my mom didn't want us to be stuck in front of the TV all day.
Do you know, because did you play anything on your PC when you were younger? Obviously.
Yeah.
Do you know a game called Auto?
No.
Or is that just my childhood? So it's a little pink blob, and he jumps on blocks to color them, and you have to avoid them.
No,
Do you not know what I'm
I
talking-
was
do you know
more
what
of a
I'm talking-
strategy
but
I'll show
person.
you
it
a picture
reminds me
after.
of Dust. Have you ever played?
No.
No.
It's like so. There's this website called notdoppler.com. Okay. It was like those like Chrome like web based games. We all
Yeah,
played
yeah,
those
yeah.
as a kid.
Like
But
Happy
essentially,
Wheels.
there's this little like stick figure guy, and it's a little box, and basically like it's kind of like a sandbox. It literally is a
Yeah, yeah.
sandbox. And you can like control him, and you just like do things to him, like you strike him with lightning.
Oh, so
Oh,
it's
wow.
like Beat Your Boss on the phone. There's a
An
game where you
earlier
just beat
version,
one, yeah.
but like people would make levels. Like it's so sandbox that you could do anything. So people
Yeah.
would make like mazes. You could like fight. You could make them fight each other.
Oh, that's cool. That's
And it was
Okay.
all like physics based. So the stick figures, like their arms would fall off.
cool.
And
Oh wow.
yeah.
No, I only
No
played
wonder you
things if my
entered
brother
into
plays
MMA,
them.
Into
bro,
MMA.
growing up.
I only played things that my brother played. Like it's not
see.
a.
Sims.
What
Have
did
you ever
you-
played Sims?
I have played. Sims,
I feel like The Sims is
yeah.
such an Eliana game.
No,
Oh my
it's
God.
really not.
Really not?
I wouldn't
The
say I
Sims
have a
taught
lot of
me
game hour. The
the-
only time in my life when I've genuinely played a lot of Sims was when I was in university, and I decided to do the 100 baby challenge. And that was the only time I played a
That's
lot of
crazy.
Sims.
Okay, I'm
Sounds
very
crazy.
ignorant. Let me guess. Is the 100 baby challenge to woohoo enough times to make
100
Literally.
babies, yeah, but there are rules to it, and it's
Oh,
very
what
strict
are the
rules
rules?
about like when you can age kids up so that they get out of the house, and who your
Yeah.
matriarch can be, and everything has to
How
be
do you
random.
fit 100 babies into
No,
a
they
sim?
move
No,
out,
you
they move
can't
out.
because you have to
You have
only
a
you
limit,
can
yeah.
only have 8 people in a household. So that means like you have to age them up accordingly so you can keep having babies.
Yeah.
It
How
is
long do you
my
think it took you?
God,
Like
man.
hours wise.
The Sims is
many
crazy.
hours.
So you finished the challenge. You got
I
the
finished the
babies.
challenge.
Like on paper, you'd be like, why would anyone play this? But like in reality, it makes so much
So
sense.
many people play it.
Dude, and the thing is, I played The Sims way too young, and I learned way too many things about reality, like through The Sims.
When I was little, up until the 100 Baby Challenge, my playing The Sims was just designing houses. I had no interest in playing that game. I just like design
But
houses.
back then, the graphics were so bad. Like, what were you designing?
You could still design.
You could still, yeah. It was not bad. No.
What's the latest Sims? Still 4, right?
Still 4, yeah.
Damn, they
and the
haven't done
graphics are so crap. Like, it's still not great, you know? Like, ray
the
tracing
building is
out
still
there.
the same. Like, building houses is still the same.
Like, the UI
But you can do mods that
Everything.
make it better. Like, my sister mods.
EA, you should. It's
Okay.
EA, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
EA, come out with I love how we just like look at the camera.
We look at the camera
address
and
people.
Do better.
Address the biggest companies that we
That
know
ever,
will
bro.
never
And
watch
people.
these episodes.
Okay, you say
Like,
that,
they're
but let's say one of you guys or one of the guests you've had becomes like really famous, and people are like going through their
find-
backlog and they
Then, yeah,
find
And they're
this.
like, okay, EA, make The Sims 5.
Yeah. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I love you.
I love you too, The Rock.
That's so random.
I would say Arnold is probably a bigger inspiration, but The
Oh,
Rock
wow.
are cool too. That's like my favorite.
Arnold doesn't rap.
Idol ever
Okay.
is Arnold Schwarzenegger. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, we have.
Is it because of like
He's muscular.
his political career, his acting career, his
No, well, it's
What is
mostly
it?
because like he's achieved everything I want to achieve in my two main favorite domains in life, like acting
And bodybuilding. Literally.
Okay.
Like he's literally one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. To me,
Yeah.
the greatest bodybuilder of all time, and one of the greatest actors of all time. Non-negotiable, like box office wise.
yeah.
Arnold is
If
great.
box office is a
Coleman,
criteria.
But
Years.
Arnold is an actor, so like
I
he's
know.
Yeah.
cooler.
Sure.
But Ronnie Coleman was a police officer, so
Exactly. Bro, if Ronnie arrested me, I'd poop my pants, bro. He's huge. Wait, no, for reference. I don't know if you've seen a picture of him. His biceps, their circumference,
Their
that's the word, 26 inches.
Okay.
Do you know
how big
inches
that is?
mean nothing to me. No.
So,
Oh my God, that's like 40
58 centimeters almost.
no,
Oh,
that's like a woman's waist.
That's like a woman's waist. That's my head. That's literally my face.
that's insane.
Can you imagine his bicep is as thick as my face is?
That is
That's
insane.
incredible.
It's insane.
Ronnie
Anyways,
Coleman is amazing.
I love Ronnie Coleman.
But yeah, bodybuilding and acting. Like whenever I need motivation, I just listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger because he's so cool. And what I love about him, like this is like something that I'm trying to live my life by. He talks about like wearing different hats as a person and like not categorizing yourself just as one thing. He's like, we're all many things in life. A lot of people talk about, don't be a jack of all trades, focus on one thing. True. But also, you're a human being.
Yeah.
You're not an AI that's like programmed to do one thing. Like,
Exactly.
you
For sure.
can be an actor, a bodybuilder,
You get
an
distracted.
entrepreneur, a writer, a
can be
father, a brother, a sister.
Yeah,
you can
that's
be a
something
father,
I have.
Eliana, if you want.
Absolutely, man. But no, this is something I've struggled with a lot. With like, because throughout my life, I was like, people were telling me you're doing too many things. Da-da-da. I'm like,
Don't listen.
no,
No
I
such
don't
thing.
care anymore.
Keep doing them.
I don't
Like,
care.
look, you will at some point, obviously, like you won't be as good as
No,
at all of
absolutely.
those things.
Yeah.
But if you really care about, like, for example, I really like writing. Am I the most talented writer in the world?
Definitely.
Talent
not.
doesn't
Definitely
matter.
not, but it brings
But
me
talent
joy.
isn't a thing. Writing is not about talent.
Yeah, it's passion.
It,
Like,
it
yeah,
really
just- I
annoys
like
me
to
when
sit
people think
down and,
writing
like,
is talent.
Even if I'm writing a short story that I share with nobody, the fact that I put in the time to make this thing that I
Create
enjoy,
a story. You gave life to characters. You know, it's
and people like
it's fun.
my
You made a
short
world.
stories.
Yeah, you made a world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also do think that it's important to share your work as an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
Sorry, as an
definitely-
artist. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it is important. I just, it's about it
Yeah.
being at the right time. Like, for example, the place machine, because
Yeah.
you were in that.
Yeah.
And no, Hussein was in that.
I was in that.
He had, like, two characters. And
Yeah.
Hussein is one
Speaking
of
of
them.
which, you posted a selfie of you on your story, and there's a green screen behind you, and I'm gonna use that to blackmail you in the future. So I just
Okay,
want to put it out
go
there.
for it. I have an
if
entire
you're
film
ta-
If
I
you're
you need.
can-
talented enough,
No,
you
using a
could-
green screen is pretty easy.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
saying if you're talented enough, you could Photoshop me with a selfie of me anywhere and put me anywhere. But
Literally,
you could go crazy with it.
Exactly. I'm gonna have fun with that picture. It's so
yeah.
funny.
Blackmail away. No,
I
I
but,
literally have the screenshot in my favorites, so when I use it in the future.
but to be fair, like I haven't finished editing that. I have that first draft.
The first
you
draft
guys
is
have
not-
all
Very
seen.
good.
You mean the background?
the
I
background,
didn't.
yeah.
Because we had finished filming
Exactly,
the day before.
exactly.
It was just a rough
But it was
cut.
really funny. It's just him, and then there's a bunch of like
The camels.
camels behind him. So funny.
Yeah.
I love that. I love.
But it
that.
was a cool experience, like working with a green screen for the first time.
Yeah.
And like having to imagine, as an actor.
Yeah, so with that one, for example, like once we finish this program, I am planning on getting like the proper backgrounds and doing all the work on
Send
that.
it to Hussain and then
Post-production.
Hussain show it to me
Okay.
when she sends it to you.
Yeah, because I think
legally obligated
it's
to send it.
prime material for like small sci-fi festivals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it just needs to properly be edited.
Yeah.
Me sharing it at this stage is like
Yeah.
a waste,
You will
essentially.
get like literally
Post-production
kicked
is
out of the festival.
Dude, that's the thing about like, that's for me what money can buy is like
Everything.
resources.
Yeah.
I wish I could just like have an editor. I could have a person where they do the things that I hate to do, and they do it really well, so they get rewarded.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
So
have
it's a win-win.
subcontracted some people for PlayStation.
Oh, perfect.
Because I'm not going to sit there and learn how
No.
to do a million
And that's
um,
valid. Your time
CGI
is
and stuff.
valuable. The
No.
most valuable
Yeah.
thing in the world is your time. Like literally, like there's
Exactly.
no resource in the world more valuable than time.
Absolutely.
So,
So that's the thing with
Except for
art,
maybe,
like
like,
making
Bitcoin.
sure it's...
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, yeah, I'd take a Bitcoin over an hour.
Exactly.
Maybe, yeah.
I'll take a Bitcoin over a week, bro.
But you can't
One
cash it
Bitcoin's
out
like
easily.
$10,000, isn't it?
$63,000.
Like,
Like,
more, bro.
you kidding me, bro?
Yeah. I'll take it over a month.
I'll take
then,
a
yeah.
year, bro.
No,
no,
maybe a little too much.
No.
You could make 60,000 in a year.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
bad. That's not
A
bad.
month,
not that
definitely.
bad.
I'd give a month away for a
I'd give
Bitcoin.
him $1 away for
Like, if
Yeah.
you told me you can sit in a room and
for
do
40
nothing
hours a
productive.
week,
Nothing
just
productive.
8 hours a day. You're just
Yeah,
Mr.
nothing.
Beast challenge.
Exactly.
That's
and you get
actually-
a Bitcoin at the end, I'll do it, bro.
That's kind of evil, though. Imagine Mr. Beast as a challenge where he's like, "I'm just gonna lock you in a room for a year," and then give you
Apparently
money
now
for
he's
it.
the
He's
most
done that. He did that.
subscribed
He did that.
person on
but
YouTube.
not for a year.
No, he
like,
did 100 days,
100 days,
which is almost a year.
and then what
No,
was the
it's
prize?
not.
The prize was...
That's not. That's like a.
That's a
less
third
than
of a year, I
of
mean.
it.
Less than a third.
Less
sure,
than a third.
but like it's a good chunk of the year, you know?
It's like-
is what I
Sure.
mean.
That's like.
But if you
25%
consider,
of it.
like, Cannes is
Definitely
kind
not
of a
a quarter.
prison anyway, so
What?
we've done that already.
Pretty much.
It's closer to a quarter than it is to a third. So do
Sure.
it. So it's 100.
So a third would be
divided by-
120. A quarter would be... Oh, I don't want to do this.
He's our engineer guy. We like
Yeah.
to do mental math here.
Mental math.
Wait, did Tala?
So quarter's like
sorry,
80?
I don't mean to
Tala
bring up.
never
Wait,
never
did Tala
replied to
challenge
the-
us to
Yes,
mental math? And
then
I'm just
never-
remembering that.
Never replied.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, so Tana last episode asked us like a mental math question. I answered it. And then,
No. I think she called for Hussein to ask you and her
Yeah.
for one.
Yes,
and
and he did.
And then
Why
she
did
just,
she do? I'm just trying to
I
think.
have
That was
no
so
idea.
like
Tana's
out of nowhere.
so-
She
And her segues that episode, she's like, speaking of like manslaughter. And we're like, what?
But
What?
also, speaking of Tala and the Devil's Bag, we did
Devil's
end up
Bag.
losing equipment in that.
the devil's
Again?
bag.
that
More?
bag.
Devil's bag.
Yeah.
Did you
Devil's
keep
bag.
the
Bag is
devil's
real.
bag?
I think it's still somewhere around here.
It's-
You
It
know what
just
that sounds
exists.
like?
It
You know in
lurks.
Minecraft when you just set up like a lava block, like you
Yeah.
put a hole and then you put lava in it and you just throw things in there.
Yeah, and then they're gone forever.
Maybe I need that bag just to like get rid of stuff.
Or it's
'Cause
like
I
an
have
ender
two-
chest. Where
I actually
like
need that bag because I have so many things that I want to get rid of before
Yeah.
they study.
you just throw them in a
So
bag.
if I just put them in this bag, like I don't want
It's
to
like
throw
an
them
ender
away.
chest where if someone puts it in, the other person can't see it. Kind of.
No, but with an
Who
ender
knows what
chest,
it
it
is?
doesn't disappear. Have you ever played Minecraft?
No. As
Never?
I said before, I can
Never.
only play things I already know how to
you've
play.
never
and
touched
things
Minecraft?
that my
Easy. So
brother
You've never
has.
touched Minecraft in your life.
No, I've only ever seen like it has blocks.
Really?
Now I kind of want to ask her games that she hasn't played.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't played
played
most
FIFA?
games. No, because I told you I only played things my brother played.
But you played Mario Kart. I know that. 'cause
Yeah, I've
we
played
went to, like, a
Mario
gaming
Kart.
Cafe and I played Mario Kart. And she's
I've
like,
played Smash
Oh,
as well.
Smash.
So cool, bro.
I'm good at Super Smash Brothers.
Man, I listened to this podcast. Now I'm gonna sound like Salman, like bringing philosophy into this. But that like,
He does that all the time.
there's this who Salman.
Salman.
Yeah,
Like we'll be playing basketball, and like I'll score and tell him something, and be like, you know what, this reminds me of that one,
Yeah.
this one like quote.
No,
I
no,
like
it's not
that.
a quote, but it's related to video games and it's kind of simulation theory. That's we've never talked about that on the podcast.
Have we? Not
but the
really, no.
idea that like, so it was the guest on this podcast was this professor who's literally his specialty is simulation theory, and he kind of talks about how nowadays we have video games that are pretty much like simulations of life.
Real life, yeah.
Yeah.
Literally massive multiplayer online and in VR too, like VR chat.
But isn't that like the whole theory of Ready Player One? Like the
I
book
love
Ready
Ready
Player.
Player.
Such a good
Yeah.
movie. I love
That's
that
my
movie.
favorite book. Like
I
literally
love
my
it.
favorite.
Oh, what about the
book.
movie? Did you like the
It
movie?
I
was
love
a
the
big
movie. The movie's
inspiration.
amazing.
It's segueing back to the book about the art being transferred. It has so many references. It was very inspired by Ready Player One
really?
with all its
Interesting.
references.
Wow. Have you read Ready Player 2?
No.
Please,
have a
do.
second
It's
version?
even better.
Is it actually? Because I've
It's
heard
so-
from everyone it's bad, and I don't want that.
It's bad?
That's what I've heard.
No. Listen. I'm telling you, I spent nights. I'm like, I think I have ADHD. I don't know if I do.
Okay.
You definitely do.
I definitely probably do have ADHD. Anyways, I'm never a page turner, but
Yeah.
that book kept me up for like 2 days.
Okay.
Like, I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
Ernest
I'll
Cline
give
is one
it
of my
a-
favorite writers.
Yeah.
I'll give it a. But honestly, the movie got so much crap, and I actually enjoyed Spielberg's
I liked the
movie.
Ready
I liked
Player
the
One.
movie.
I
Movie's
enjoyed
great.
it.
Movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
Movie was great.
I don't know what people were on about, honestly.
No, but point being, so like in VR chat, for example, you can literally choose an avatar and interact with other human beings. Like literally, like you have hands, you have legs, you can literally wear these things, and it's simulation theory is the idea that we're in a massively multiplayer online game.
Yeah.
And we're all just avatars.
I think we are.
And each avatar, like every avatar has a goal in life.
So skeptical.
And this is like apparently the ancient Greeks, like
Oh, he's blaming your people for this.
I know. I'm
like
seeing
they
this.
believed in this as well. But the idea that like every character has, like every avatar has a goal, an objective, a want,
Yeah.
and basically in life you have this want, and then obstacles come in the way, and we're all like kind of
It's literally a
playing-
video game.
Yeah, we're playing in our own video game.
Potentially. I don't know,
My-
but isn't it funny that people now want to get into the video games, like being in VR? Whereas for me growing up, because we mentioned I played Pokemon, like it was
Yeah.
very much so pretending you play Pokemon in real life
In real life,
outside
yeah,
of
exactly.
Oh, like
the
Pokemon
game.
Go.
Oh,
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
no,
We were
Pokemon
such
Go.
losers.
Just like
Just
as a
literally
kid.
Oh, like literally just pretending like
yeah,
Pikachu.
yeah,
like,
just pretend
Exactly.
play. Yeah,
That's
as a
actually brilliant.
child.
I
Yeah.
don't think I ever did that.
Bro.
I just did Yu-Gi-Oh and pretended like
Exactly.
I was powerful.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah, you
But,
had
like,
the card
I got
game
the
as
whole
well.
arm thing for the
Yeah,
Crazy.
I have one. I just
But
imagine.
to add to simulation, I have a friend that got a job as a cashier at a store.
Okay.
And he's like, bro, I swear it feels like a video game. I'm like, oh my god, you're not
The
real.
idea, good, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he's a cashier, so he literally just scans the things and
Yeah,
sells it to
yeah.
them. And he's like, oh my god, I feel like I'm in a video game right
Bro,
now. Like,
honestly,
what?
in this past year, I've had to pinch myself and be like, "What is going on?" Like,
Oh, I have
never in
had
my
to,
life.
but I'm guessing for different reasons because my pinching was like, what?
Oh, mine was like positive, like me
Okay.
meeting like Saudi
Yeah, you're like
celebrities,
nightmare.
like Saudi legends and I'm like, oh my god, like I saw you on TV and now I'm here
Oh,
and
like
we're
in the
talking.
festival, you guys met some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Met
Yes.
like legends.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
It is.
I actually like didn't try to I did end up networking, but I didn't try to
accident.
network.
Because you were busy going to like 1,000
Movies.
films.
yeah, which
How many-
actually like I met a lot
You
of
said you
people
watched, like,
going
12
to
Yeah.
or something like that.
more than that, but I don't know
More
how
than
many. But to be fair,
It's
they
like
ruined
41
like
days.
2 days for me. I had so many tickets for the last 2 days, and
Yeah.
they wanted to film, and they kept going over time, and I
Dang.
Fair
missed
enough.
so many screenings.
Yeah. There is also something that I did want to mention about Ready Player 1, Ready Player 2, though. A really cool thing about Ready Player 2, there's this concept of like creating a character or like an NPC, but using AI.
Okay.
Because like when Ready Player 1 came out, there was VR at the time, but there wasn't really, ChatGPT in that revolution. And so I think Ernest Cline definitely incorporated that into the second book. And essentially in the second book, there's this really weird concept that's super eerie, but it's that dead people that you miss. You know the concept of how there's like this very rich company and how the main character ends up owning it. But essentially one of the features, like a product you could buy, is if any of your family members have been in the Oasis before, the new Oasis does a full brain scan, an MRI, and basically like reads all of their neurons, all of their memories,
Bring them back.
all of their thoughts, and programs an NPC, which is a GPT basically, and you can interact with that NPC as if they're the real person. And in the Oasis, you have full touch, and essentially, I'm spoiling, but that's why I love the real book, is the new device is no longer a VR headset. It connects, it's kind of like Neuralink. It connects to your brain, so you can experience anything. You can record anything. So imagine, like, we can watch videos on YouTube, right? You can watch a video of a surfer, like, climbing a massive wave. In the Oasis, you can experience that. You can literally be in a POV of the surfer and feel the water. And obviously, you know,
that's so
PG-18 things of like people who record. Like, it's an insane concept, right? And now I'm just thinking, like, Elon Musk is coming up with Neuralink. There's GPTs. Like, yes, it's science fiction, but it's like, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but it's always based on like something that could. No, it probably won't happen, but it's always like science fiction and even fantasy is always based on like taking situations that have happened to the extreme.
To the extreme.
It's literally the very
But anyways, the point being, while building my business right now and even preparing for the stand-up comedy show, I've been using ChatGPT's voice function. Have you guys ever experimented with that?
No. I know, but I've heard it.
It's literally like having your personal assistant.
Oh, wow.
It's insane. Like, I'll have my AirPods connected. I'm like, all right, what's up, GPT? Today we have a client, you know, so I just need your help figuring out a few things, calculating their TDEE. So they're 151 centimeters with 60 kgs. I'm going to run the numbers later, but just give me an idea of what their calories should be. And, like, it'll tell me. Like, literally in my ear, like, okay, yeah, you should be thinking this. I'm like, I'll change that. So I literally tell it, no, change that. Up the calories because I'm giving them 30 minutes of exercise per day. So let's give them a higher TDEE. And then, what mobility could I work in? Because their goals are to, like, improve flexibility. And then it'll tell me. And I'm like, let's change that. And literally an hour later, I basically have a full template that I can copy-paste into Excel. It's my brain, and they're doing all... It's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty insane.
We're in 2024. It's crazy.
We are in 2024, and for me to leave my house in France, I was requested to send them a letter.
Like a written paper.
Like an actual
letter. To be able to
letter.
leave, like, your lease?
I sent them an email, and they went, that's really nice, but we need it in a letter.
Thank you for the email.
The French bureaucracy, dude.
I was like, what on earth? So we live in 2024, but Cannes definitely does not.
No, same.
Cannes stuck in like 2013.
I think all of France is
a letter? 1997, when I was born.
Bro, they do bank transfers. Like, if you're gonna go to a business and, like, pay them, you literally have to transfer the money to their IBAN account.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Apple Pay.
I'll Apple Pay you.
Yeah.
I'll airdrop you the money.
They use checks. I'm so confused by this country. Infinitely confused. A check for 5 years if you've lost your card.
Really?
Like our access cards. Yeah, they were like, we need to.
Checkbooks?
I don't know, but I was once in a casino, like the supermarket, and I'm in line. I want to buy bananas, literally just bananas, and there's this old woman in front of me that has like 3 million items, and so I'm there for like 10 minutes of her scanning.
Okay.
And so she scans, she finishes, and then she's writing a check to the cashier, and I'm just there like. Oh, and there's no other cashier that's
craziest
open.
concept.
I was there like,
it makes sense. Like as an old banker, like it makes sense. It's literally a piece of paper saying, "Take this amount from my bank."
But there's no guarantee your bank account has that amount.
Yeah, and that's when you run a check and the check goes invalid.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying it's not that good.
Doesn't have enough money.
They'll contact you and not give you the product unless you already bought it.
Yeah, but you've already bought it.
I don't think they give it to you like that. You know what I mean? Like they'll check to see if the check works.
No, they don't. The check has to be taken to a bank.
Oh, I think there's probably legal repercussions.
You can probably get sued, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's when you probably get sent to collect.
For sure, but I'm just saying that seems like less useful than just, I don't know, using a POS and a debit card like a normal person would.
Yeah. See, we do teach stuff on this podcast.
We do.
With that being said,
it
has been an hour.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Hey, it's always a good sign.
Yeah.
And so, hey, it was a pleasure to have you on the Gen Z
Pleasure being here.
Let the audience know
where
they can find you if you want to promote anything.
I don't post online ever, but
look out for her new book.
There is an Instagram.
Look out for her latest book.
Maybe one day.
In like 10 years.
In 10 years. Yes. No, I am planning on
5.
I really want to finish editing this year.
So 2 years.
2 years.
The book will be out.
2 years till
Hopefully
it's done.
this year
3
we'll
years till
get
it's
a
published.
literary
If you're a
agent.
viewer from 2026,
Oh,
watching back because Eliana's famous now,
Yes.
and you were just interested in this weird ass episode.
yeah. I will keep
yeah.
linking this
Uh-huh.
for like the next 5 years
Yes.
to everything
The
I
same
do.
episode.
Yes.
Just this
and
episode.
drink your water, kids, and eat your multivitamin.
Yes.
Yes.
Play video games and don't go outside. Anyways.
Don't do drugs.
Like and subscribe and leave comments for stuff you want us
And-
to talk about in the future.
Watch Night of the Museum. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Anyways, bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.